we are thrilled this morning to be able to bring you some really important information about things that the IRS can offer you. Ken Corbin, who will be coming from the IRS, was very kind to say that IRS stands for Internal Revenue Service, and he's bringing service back to the IRS and to show people all the great opportunities that exist for all of us layfolk from the IRS and from the government right now in the current situation. Leading this entire effort is Congressman John Larson, who I am thrilled to be able to be called a dear friend. He is a person that represents this community in a way that is the envy of many other Congress people. People in this community know John by name and are constantly going up and talking to him because he's one of us. And he still represents us like the first day he stepped into Congress some 20 some odd years ago. So very thrilled to have him here. Very thrilled that he graces the halls of Goodwin University. And let me turn it over to John Larson, Congressman.
Well, thank you. Well, thank you, Mr. President, and always good to be here at Goodwin University. And we want to thank Amanda Campbell and Gary Miner for their help and assistance in setting this up today. But Mark Scheinberg, as president of Goodwin University, continues to reach out beyond the borders of East Hartford, across the state, and I dare say across the nation, and the reputation that Goodwin University continues to garner in terms of putting people back to work and being able to educate people not only from an intellectual standpoint, but from a very practical standpoint with their ability to gain full employment after matriculating here at Goodwin University. So it's always good to be here, and I thank him. And as everybody knows, we are following all of the COVID compliant rules, etc. But we today hope to accomplish a couple of things, but most notably, as Mark has pointed out, we're going to be hearing from the IRS and Treasury Department shortly, because I thought it vitally important that people in the 1st Congressional District, people in the state of Connecticut, people across the country, frankly, have got to come to understand what's in the American Rescue Plan, this $1.9 trillion investment that President Biden has put forward, that has been enacted into law. And now, instead of saying help is on the way, help is here. But that's the good news, that help is here, and help is here so that we can put vaccinations in your arms, so that we can put money in your pocket, so we can put students back in their seats at school, so we can put people back to work and restore monies to our municipalities. I'm also proud that the Mayor of Portland, Susan Bransfield, is here today, as is the Mayor of Manchester, Jay Moran. I thank them for being here personally. They have been ardent supporters of this initiative. And frankly, part of what we have in front of us and the big challenge that we face is what Franklin Delano Roosevelt outlined back in the 30s, when the nation at that time faced the Great Depression and there was hardship abound. The president called upon the nation to come together in what he referred to as the warm courage of national unity. And by that, what he meant is that it was going to take everybody in the country pulling together to help one another out, to get through, at that time, the Depression, and now to get through this pandemic, a pandemic that is global in nature. But I think while it's turned the country upside down, it is bringing out the best in people. And so part of what we're hoping to accomplish today is through you either tuning in by Zoom, and I should also add there are several elected officials that are tuning in by Zoom today, and elected officials like Mayor Moran and Bransfield play a critical role in getting this information out to their constituents, out to their citizens, so that they understand what is available there to them and how do they get a stimulus check? How do they take advantage of the earned income tax credit, of the child tax credit? If they're unemployed, how are they going to get an increase in their unemployment? What if they're unemployed and they were a sole proprietor? Are they able to get money from that standpoint? And these are a number of things that the IRS is going to go over. I can't thank them enough for being here today. And I especially want to thank Aruna Kalyanam, who I've had the opportunity to work with for more than 20 years in the United States Congress, where she served on first the Ways and Means Committee, and now is working with the Treasury Department and the IRS and with the Biden team. And Aruna has just been outstanding. And they have been able to help us out anytime that we have had a question in our office that constituents have called in. The response time has been outstanding. And I think Mark pointed this out in his open remarks that Ken Corbin is fond of saying, well, you know, service is part of our name, the Internal Revenue Service. And there's no greater service at this time that we can perform than making sure that everybody understands the opportunities that are in front of them and how to get a hold of the right agency, how to make sure that whatever you're entitled to, you're going to be receiving. So with that, it is my high honor to introduce Ken Corbin, the Commissioner of Wage and Investment Division and the Chief Taxpayer Experience Officer, who will be leading our discussion today. Ken, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. And thank you to everyone for inviting me here and taking time to talk with me. A couple of things I want to say at the opening. Number one, I am your Taxpayer Experience Officer. I'm here to serve you and to make sure that our agency is here to serve and meet the needs of the community. I love what the Congressman said about unity and community. The IRS is a part of your community, and to ensure that all of the benefits of tax administration are made available to the most vulnerable populations and to all taxpayers, it'll take all of us coming together to be able to talk about and share how the American Rescue Plan has many benefits in it that are designed to help our economy, that are designed to help our taxpayers. So in order to make sure that everyone is aware of those benefits and gets the full spectrum of benefits made available to them, I'm going to cover some of the major aspects of the American Rescue Plan. I will also talk about how you can help your community and your taxpayers get these benefits, and hopefully provide for you some commonly asked questions about the IRS and about tax administration. I also want to say service is in our name. And although the pandemic has provided all of us this unique challenge during this year and this past year, we still strongly believe that our role is to be able to serve in the communities in which we reside. Many of the 80,000 plus IRS employees live and work in our communities. And we certainly take seriously our role of what we are supposed to do to not only make the American Rescue Plan successful, but also make sure that we ensure that everyone knows how to get these benefits. I'll leave plenty of time at the end for questions and answers, because certainly I think the best way to make sure that you're getting what you need is to open up and make sure that you are able to ask the questions that you may have. Let me touch on a couple of the key topics though. Let's start with the American Rescue Plan and Economic Impact Payments Round 3. So the IRS has distributed almost 161 million payments, totaling almost $379 billion around the country. But let me be a little bit more personal and talk more about our citizens in Connecticut. In Connecticut alone, there have been over 676,000 payments for the third round, reaching about $1.3 billion. And that is critical money that is reaching the community for people to pay their rent, their food, or maybe even their college tuition. So this is money that's needed for everyone to be able to continue to hold up and to be able to do what's needed. I want to talk a little bit about all of the benefits that we do in the IRS for tax administration. Now, I know a lot of times people think paying taxes, filing by April 15th, typically, that's a pretty tough task. But I want you to know that the tax code allows a lot of social benefits built into it that taxpayers are eligible for, that they need to file a return in order to claim it. One of those benefits is called the Recovery Rebate Credit, or RRC. And basically what that is, in simple terms, is that if you were eligible for an Economic Impact Payment 1 or an Economic Impact Payment 2, but you either did not receive the full amount of your original 1 or 2 EIP, or you didn't receive it at all, you can claim those credits on your tax year 20 return on line 30 of the Form 1040, and it's called the Recovery Rebate Credit. As always, we encourage taxpayers to file electronically and to use direct deposit information on their return. It is the fastest and quickest way for you to receive not only your recovery rebate credit, but some of the other credits that I'm going to talk about today. Also, with the American Rescue Plan, in order to receive an Economic Impact Payment 3, the IRS must have either a tax year 19 return or a tax year 20 return on file in order for you to receive your Economic Impact Payment 3. Again, either a tax year 19 or a tax year 20 return. Let me talk about some of our veterans and our Social Security beneficiaries. If you are a recipient of veterans benefits from the VA, or you are a recipient of Social Security benefits from the Social Security Administration, and typically do not have a filing requirement here with us at the IRS, you don't have to do anything in order to receive your Economic Impact Payment 3. Both our partners in the VA and SSA have provided IRS the information needed in order to compute your Economic Impact Payment 3. Now, I do acknowledge there are those who are SSA beneficiaries or VA beneficiaries that may not have received their Economic Impact Payment 3 yet. Checks for both SSA and VA beneficiaries are still being mailed, and we do anticipate that those citizens should receive their EIP-3 in the next couple of weeks. If you receive your benefits through Direct Express from either VA or SSA, you should have received your Economic Impact Payment 3 payment already. If you have a filing requirement and you typically have filed a return, you also should still be receiving your Economic Impact Payment 3. Let me talk about a few unique circumstances, or something new actually, with EIP-3. So with the Economic Impact Payment 3, when we first dispersed the payments here at the IRS, let's say, for example, you hadn't filed your tax year 20 return yet. Or let's say you filed your tax year 20 return and processing had not completed. New for EIP-3, if the IRS used your tax year 19 return to compute your EIP-3, and you either file or your tax year 20 return is processed, the IRS will automatically issue you a supplemental payment if you're due for more money for your EIP-3. So if you get another check from the IRS, it's not a mistake. It just means that we've looked at your tax year 20 return and you are entitled to additional funds through EIP-3. Let me talk about some of the tools that are available for Economic Impact Payment 3 for those of you working in the community, and you might have taxpayers or others asking you questions about how do I find out information about what's going on with my payment? Number one, on irs.gov, we have the Get My Payment tool. The IRS Get My Payment tool will let you know when your payment was dispersed and how it was dispersed. In other words, was it placed into a checking account or onto a debit card, or was it mailed as a paper check? If you have questions about eligibility for Economic Impact Payment 3 under the American Rescue Plan, the IRS also has a very robust set of FAQs also on irs.gov that answer the top 50 questions that we get here at the IRS related to eligibility for the Economic Impact Payment 3. Let me talk a little bit about outreach, because as we started out, the community is really what helps us get outreach and information out about economic impact payments and all of the things touted in the American Rescue Plan. And I'm going to add a few more things that are in there coming up soon. So for outreach, one of the things that we encourage you to do is to reach out to the IRS. We have a wonderful, wonderful organization within the IRS that does nothing but outreach. They're here to serve you. If you are a nonprofit or city or municipality within the wonderful state of Connecticut, reach out to us here at the IRS. We have social media publications, we have posters, we have a specialist that we can put you in contact with that can be your outreach partner and help you get information from us to be able to pass on to your constituents and also to pass on to your customers. Again, that outreach material is critical to us being able to do what's needed. Let me do a brief commercial break because I do think this is an important aspect because we're talking about outreach. I want to personally thank the Hartford Asset Building Collaborative working with the Village for Families. They have an outreach event coming up on May 1st and May 4th. And these pop-up shops are going to help homeless individuals who might be eligible for an Economic Impact Payment 3 receive those benefits. So I do want to thank our partners out there who are either in the room or online that are already partnering up with us here at the IRS. Again, a big part of what we need to do here for tax administration comes through outreach and education. And I want to thank our partners out there who are working with us to do what's needed in order to get things done. Let me talk a little bit about some of the things that we have out there, particularly for our homeless community. The IRS has a brand new publication. Let me share it with you. It's called Publication 5412J. Publication 5412J. And it's entitled Economic Impact Payments for Americans Experiencing Homelessness. Look, let's be honest. There are a lot of individuals and taxpayers, the pandemic hit them very hard. And many folks lost their homes, their apartments, and are experiencing homelessness. But they are eligible for the economic impact payments, and we want to get those payments to them. We partner with a number of homeless shelters that allow us to use their address so that we can get homeless individuals their checks for their economic impact payments. In our outreach efforts, we partner with a number of financial institutions like Wells Fargo and Bank of America, and they work with us to make sure that our partners in the community have means to open up checking and savings accounts so that these individuals are able to negotiate their payments and their checks and help them get back on their feet. Again, We are the IRS, and service is in our name. It's important for us to make sure that everyone who is entitled to a benefit receives the benefits they're entitled to. And we want the experience to be seamless. Let's talk a little bit about the American Rescue Plan and unemployment compensation. One of the things in the American Rescue Plan was to not allow or not make permissible the first $10,200 of unemployment compensation to be taxable. This was so critical because for many citizens and Americans who were taking unemployment last year, didn't realize that they had to pay federal taxes on that unemployment benefit. The American Rescue Plan put in a change that allowed $10,200 for individuals with other filing statuses, and for married filing joint, $20,400. So let's talk a little bit about what's the experience for taxpayers, because many have already filed. In fact, the IRS has already processed over 105 million tax returns, many of who claimed and paid taxes on the unemployment compensation. Let's take some time to talk about that. For taxpayers who have already filed their tax return and paid taxes on their unemployment compensation, the IRS will automatically compute a change to your return and issue you an additional refund of the money. In other words, you as a taxpayer, you don't have to take any action. The IRS will automatically do that for you. Again, service is in our name. For those of you who have yet to file and are getting ready to file your tax return and are wondering if the software community or others have updated their software and information, they have. All of our partners that either in the tax preparation area or the do-it-yourself software community have already updated their software to account for this benefit. So as you get ready to file your return, it will automatically take care of that for you as it relates to unemployment compensation. Again, there are rules around income limits and who is eligible for this benefit in the American Rescue Plan. And more information can be found on irs.gov, but we encourage you to check it out and also to know that, again, if you've already filed and you've paid taxes on your unemployment compensation, the IRS will automatically send you additional funds to get that money back in your hands. Expect those funds to start coming either by check or direct deposit starting in May of 2021. The other benefit of the American Rescue Plan was for those who received the advanced premium tax credit. Whew, that's a lot of words. So what in the world is that? So that's for individuals who, under the ACA, were getting assistance in paying health insurance premiums, and they got an advance on that. Again, if you have already filed your tax year 20 return, the IRS will automatically compute this benefit for you. No additional action will be needed, and the IRS will issue any additional refunds back to you starting in June of 2021. Again, no action needed. For those of you who have not filed, our partners in industry and software have already updated their software to accommodate this change under the American Rescue Plan to make sure that everyone who's there gets those benefits. Let's talk about another aspect of the American Rescue Plan. It also talks about the advance of the child tax credit for tax year 2021. So again, let's break that down. This will be an advance payment on the child tax credit for returns that will be filed in the year 2022. So it's an advance payment, very much so like the economic impact payments 1, 2, and 3. So what does this mean for taxpayers? How do I get this benefit? It's easy. If you claimed the child tax credit on either your tax year 19 or your tax year 20 return, the IRS will automatically compute your eligibility based on the criteria for the child tax credit for tax year 21. That's a lot to think about. But basically, in order to get this benefit, all you have to do is to file a tax return, either from last year in tax year 19 or this year in tax year 20. Those payments, those advance payments for the child tax credit will begin in July of 2021. And it entitles you up to a 50% advance on what you would receive on your tax year 21 return, which you'll file in 2022. Hey, this is a lot of information. So what are some of the tools? What are some of the things out there that can help me file? Because it seems like in order for me to get my recovery rebate credit, in order to be eligible for this advance of the child tax credit, and also to ensure that I get the full benefits of the economic impact payment 3, I need to file a return. But wait, there's more. There's also the earned income tax credit, which will also change for next filing season. However, if you are eligible for the child tax credit, you most likely are also eligible for the earned income tax credit. And in order to get this benefit, you have to file and claim it on a tax year return. So let's talk about the community. What are some ways that people can come in and be able to file their return? It's easy. First and foremost, I would offer up that we at the IRS have a mobile app. It's called Irs To Go. You can download this handy mobile app from either the Google Play Store or the Apple Store. You know, depends on your preference of which phone you have. The Irs To Go app has a number of tools on it. It can help you find out what's the status of your tax refund. It can also help you find one of our volunteer income tax assistance centers located in the state of Connecticut that can help you prepare your return for free. A number of our VITA partners are doing in-person tax preparation, but they also are doing virtual free tax preparation, where you can use technology like this here on Zoom to make sure that we're able to help you complete your tax return. For those of you that like to be, just a little bit more adventurous, you can always use the free file program on Irs To Go and on irs.gov. The free file program will allow you to be able to come in and file your tax return for free. And that way you can electronically file your return and then provide all the information needed to be able to get the benefits of all the things that I've talked about today. Again, I want to make sure that we leave time for questions, but I have one more prop I want to show everyone here on the call. So this, what I'm holding up right now, hopefully it'll come through, this is what an EIP3 debit card looks like. And this image of the EIP3 debit card is available on irs.gov. Make sure that your folks in your community know what this card looks like. We don't want them to throw it away. This is a legitimate card with your economic impact payment on it. So be sure your constituents and your taxpayers are aware of what the EIP3 card looks like so that they can be sure to cash and use that card as needed. Again, I want to take time for questions and answers, and I want to thank you all for this opportunity to be able to talk with you about how things are going with us here at the IRS and how we can serve you and your community to make sure that everyone gets the full benefits that they have available to them. So let me open it up for any questions you may have for us here today.
Well, thank you so much, Ken. Our first question is from Stuart from Rocky Hill. And his question is, after I filed my taxes, the new relief bill was passed and has a provision to waive income taxes on a portion of unemployment payments. The IRS has asked us not to file amended returns as they are working on a solution. Do we have any idea how this will all work?
Yes, we do. Absolutely. So we have already created what we call the logic of taking in all the returns that are already filed. And based on your specific circumstance, we will go in and automatically take out the $10,200 if you are married filing single, head of household, or married filing separate. Or if you're married filing joint, we'll take out the $20,000. We will adjust your tax return without you having to file a 1040X. Because the normal experience would be when you make a change, you'd have to write us a letter and file a form on paper, and it would take us 6 to 8 months to process it. We didn't want that to be your experience. So we've decided that we would automatically go in and compute the additional money that's due to you. So if you filed and got a refund through direct deposit, you'll get another direct deposit from the IRS with that adjustment from your unemployment income starting in May. Well, just a few days away, right? Starting in May of 2021. If you received and got your refund by paper check, you'll get a paper check in the mail with that adjustment, and we'll send you a letter telling you, here's what we've changed on your tax return.
Thank you, Ken. And then the next question is from Al. He says, I have received 3 payments under the stimulus plans, but less than the face amounts because my income is higher than the cutoff for full payments. My income went down from 2019 to 2020. When filing our information for my H&R Block tax preparation program for 2020 at one point, I got a message that I'm entitled to an additional payment because of having less income in 2020. Is that accurate? If so, when should I expect that additional payment?
That is an excellent question. So first thing, is it accurate? Yes, it is. If the IRS used your tax year 19 return income in order to compute your economic impact payment 1, 2, and the most recent one, economic impact payment 3, when your tax year 20 return is processed, which usually takes us anywhere from 30 to 45 days. Within 2 weeks after your return is processed, the IRS will automatically send you the additional money you're entitled to for your economic impact payment 3. You don't have to take any action. We will automatically compute that for you. And you can expect that payment either by direct deposit, if that's how you got your refund, or by paper check, if that's how you got your refund. But it's a fairly seamless process and usually takes us a couple of weeks after your return is processed to get that additional funds out to you.
Thank you. If anyone in the audience has a question, you can raise your hand now and someone from our staff will bring you the microphone at Goodwin College.
Again, any nonprofits out there or partner organizations, we would love to partner with you in the community. We are really looking for assistance from homeless shelters or nonprofits that deal with low to moderate income communities. We have so much information that we want to share and help everyone get the benefits of tax administration that they're due. Just let us know. So let me pause it again, Mary, see if you got a question yet.
Thank you. Congressman, is there anyone with their hand up at Goodwin?
Mayor Jim, Manchester. Some people didn't get their first payment through the debit, second one through direct deposit. Those folks that might have thrown away that debit card, not thinking that it was junk mail, is there any way they can get their money?
So I think there was a question. I couldn't quite hear it on the Zoom.
Congressman, are you able to repeat the question?
Jay, can you repeat? Can you hear that, Ken? We're having some technical difficulty here. Jay, why don't you come down here? The question essentially was, what about an individual who got a debit card the first time, but didn't know whether it was a scam or not, and inadvertently threw out the card, then got their most recent payment, but had thrown out the debit card from the past. Can they reclaim that money now? Or how would they go about filing for that money?
Yes, absolutely. So there are a couple of ways to reclaim the money for a debit card that you might have thrown away. If you've thrown away your debit card for either the EIP 3 or EIP 1 and 2, you can call the customer service line for the bank that issued these wonderful debit cards. That telephone number is 1-800-240-8100. Again, that telephone number is 1-800-240-8100. And if the card is still active or if the money is still on that account, they will authenticate you and they will reissue you a card that you can use. Now, if you can't authenticate and you say, hey, I can't get my money for my economic impact payment 1 or 2, you can claim the money for your economic impact payment 1 or 2 on your tax year 20 return on line 30 for the recovery rebate credit. Just put the entry down as if you did not receive your payment, which you didn't because you threw away the debit card, and then it'll be incorporated and become a part of your tax refund. Does that help?
Thank you, Ken. Our next question. You can take your mask off.
On February 15th, I filed electronically with TurboTax my return with a $600 refund. And I waited and waited and did not hear anything. I tried going online, and online they could not find anything about me. I tried calling 5 of your numbers that you posted, and I can't seem to get through. So I tried filing again on March 15th. And it's been, what, about over a month now, and I still have not heard a word. And every time I go online, they can't seem to find me. They say they have nothing under my Social Security number.
So a couple of things. Number one, I'm very sorry for that. You know, we never want any of our taxpayers to have a bad experience when it comes to filing. Can I ask, did you file electronically or on paper?
Pardon?
Did you file
electronically or on paper?
I filed electronically and I couldn't get an answer. So
Perfect.
I turned around and I filed by mail.
Perfect. Thank you.
And
that helps me a
didn't do
great
anything.
deal.
So I turned around and I filed again by mail twice. And I still, it's been over a month and I haven't heard. And when I go online, they tell me they can't find anything on me.
Perfect. Thank you for that. So number one, if you have a copy of your tax return or your information, if you could leave it with the congressman's office, I will make sure that either myself or one of my team members gets in contact with you to find out about your tax return. Well, certainly I will take your tax return and we'll get it to make sure that we're processing it. We are having a tremendous amount of tax returns, and it sounds like, well, I don't want to disclose information about your particular account, but we are having a lot of tax returns coming in for the recovery rebate credit. And so although we're processing them as fast as we can, we are moving slower in the tax year 20 processing realm. Normally, we're able to process a return, especially electronically filed, in less than 21 days. It's up to about 40 days right now. But hearing that we haven't had any kind of acknowledgement of your return and there's nothing showing up on Where's My Refund suggests to me that something else might be afoot with your return. So if you wouldn't mind leaving your information, or I can have Aruna or Amy or one of our team members reach out to the congressman's office to get your information, I'd be happy to have someone call you back and find out what happened to your return. But very sorry for that. That's not the kind of service we want to provide. And it is tough, I will say, to be able to get through our toll-free lines. Here's a fact people don't know. Did you know that the IRS has been receiving 1,500 calls per second on our toll-free product lines? 1,500 calls per second. It's just been tough for us to be able to manage to get to all the calls. But that doesn't excuse the service that we need to provide to you. So definitely, if you could get the information, I'll be certain that someone will get back with you very quickly about your return.
Thank you. In between the next live question, we are going to take a question from the chat. Reggie, who's watching, asks, what is the case when a person received a payment, but it was reduced?
So what is the case when a person received an economic impact payment 3 and it was reduced? So when you look at how the law is written for the economic impact payments, they begin to be reduced based on what an individual's adjusted gross income would be. So payments will be reduced at about $75,000 or above for an adjusted gross income of all the other filing statuses and $150,000 for married filing joint. So if your income falls between $75,000, your adjusted gross income, and $80,000, it begins to phase out. That amount begins to be reduced when your income is between those two amounts. And if you're married filing joint and your adjusted gross income falls between $150,000 and $160,000, then it begins to be reduced at a phased out amount. So that's kind of how the law was constructed, so that the amounts would be reduced based on your adjusted gross income. There could be other circumstances that also might have caused your payment to be reduced. There are certain things that we call offsets, where funds might be offset to pay a past due student loan debt or things like that, and that will reduce your economic impact payment. In those cases where it is reduced because of those circumstances, you will receive a letter from the Bureau of Fiscal Service that will explain why it's reduced. But those are the two main reasons why an economic impact payment could be reduced. I hope that helps.
Go ahead, sir.
Great. Thank you.
We have a question here, Ken.
Hi. Hey, Ken. Thanks. My question is, I filed 2019. I have not filed my 2020 taxes yet. On the economic impact 1, I received my full amount for my dependents. I have 3 sons. On the 2nd and 3rd stimulus, which I received 1 dependent short on the amount. I understand you said you can reclaim that in line 30 of this year, but I was just trying to figure out how come in the first one I got it, and then 2nd and 3rd I did not get the full amount.
Perfect. That's a great question. I can speculate as to why that may be the case. So for the economic impact payment 1, we were able to use either your tax year 18 or your tax year 19 return in order to compute your EIP 1. It sounds like it's possible that your tax year 18 return might have been used for your EIP 1, and then for your EIP 2 and 3, your tax year 19 return might have been used. Now, if you had your dependents on both your tax year 18 and 19 return, but the amount was still different, there are some circumstances where our records might show that that dependent might have already been claimed on another return. Sometimes that could be from identity theft. Sometimes it can be from a number of different circumstances. But if your EIP 2 was missing a dependent, then absolutely put them on your tax year, put that amount on your tax year 20 return to get that dependent back from EIP 2. And then if the amount was reduced based on the tax year 19 return and you file your tax year 20 return, you should get the additional money for your dependent as that supplemental process that I talked about under EIP 3. So I know that was that might have been confusing.
Yeah, I know it. Okay, my speculation is that when I did do my 2019, and for my dependents, when they send a return, it was one dependent short. However, I was able to rectify it through IRS by calling, and they sent me that extra dependent money separately. So somewhere in that, there was a mistake with because I think there was a wrong digit on the social number, which affected that. So
yes, sir.
The first EIP, I was able to get all three, but the second and third, I did not. So I'm thinking that it had to do something with that.
That sounds right. That sounds right. Absolutely. Claim the additional dependent on your tax year 20 return for EIP 2. And have you filed your tax year 20? I know I'm asking a lot of personal questions.
I haven't done 20 yet. No. How do I go about trying to recover that?
Good question. All right. So on your tax year 20 return, claim the additional dependent on line 30. And then when we process your tax year 20 return, when you claim all of your dependents, we will send you a supplemental payment for those dependents for your EIP 3. So that should make you whole on EIP 2 and on EIP 3.
Okay, I hope so. Thank you.
Sure, absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Our next question is coming from the online chat. We have quite a few people watching. If we don't get to your question, we will follow up with you afterwards. But if you are listed as an anonymous attendee, please make sure to contact our office, because if we don't have your name and email, we can't follow up. But there are a number of questions in the chat, including from Carol and Caroline, who believe they definitely qualify but not have received their third economic impact payment. Can you outline what steps people should take if that's the case?
Yes, absolutely. So if you feel that you qualify for an economic impact payment 3, the first place to go is to look at irs.gov. We have a number of FAQs, including a whole series of FAQs on eligibility. To make sure that you get your economic impact payment, make sure that you have filed and your return has been processed. Make sure that your AGI meets that's adjusted gross income. I can't talk in IRS speak. That's your adjusted gross income to make sure that you qualify. Also make sure that no one else has claimed you as a dependent on their return, because that is one of the most common things that we see with the economic impact payment 3. If after you have done all of those steps and you file the return and you still say, hey, I think I really am eligible for an economic impact payment, I would say reach out to the IRS and let us figure out what's going on with your particular circumstance. But I will tell you that if you are eligible under the law, we ensure that everyone gets their economic impact payment.
We have another question here from the audience, Ken.
Sure.
Good afternoon, Ken. My name is Mike Shelto.
How are you?
Good, yourself.
Thank you.
My granddaughter and her husband are stationed over in Spain. And she has had a second child here in the States just before going over with her husband. She has not been able to get a Social Security number and has been trying desperately. She was told that she could not declare her second child as a dependent on her income tax, and she has not received any stimulus payments so far. Is there any way she can recoup that money?
So yeah, so Leigh, I want to make sure I understand. And congratulations. So was the child born in 2020 or 2021?
2020, let's see, it would be 2021.
2021. Okay, very good. All right. So for a child born in 2021, What will happen there is that you will have to wait for the SSA to issue the Social Security. But for the Economic Impact Payment 3, they will be able to claim that Economic Impact Payment 3 on their tax year 21, because the child was born in 2021. They'll be able to claim the child as a dependent on their return in for tax year 2021 in filing season 2022. Now, it sounds like they are in service. So they are working for the Department of Defense. Where are they? Well, I'm sorry.
They're on a NATO base in Spain, and I have to apologize for a senior moment there. It should have been the previous year's tax return that she declared.
Got it. Okay. Understood. Understood. Yes. So, so I would definitely, so two things can happen. It can go two different ways. If they filed their return, then what they'll need to do is do an amended return or 1040X once, we call it a form 1040X, once they get the Social Security number for their new child. And then when that 1040X is processed by us here at the IRS, we will automatically compute and provide that Economic Impact Payment 3 based on the addition of the dependent to their tax year 20 return. So they can either wait to file, but don't wait too long past May 17th. They can either wait to file or file and then do what we call an amended return or 1040X to add their child after they get the Social Security number. You can electronically file a 1040X, that's an amended return. You can electronically file that as well, and that'll help get the money a lot sooner. And that's how they can get the additional payment. Now they got they did not get an EIP 1 or 2. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Were they eligible for an EIP 1 or 2? Oh, I'm sorry, that again, too technical a question. But so the answer is, I'm sorry, I'm digging all into the account. The answer is file an accurate return when they get that Social Security number, file a 1040X with us here electronically. And when we process that 1040X, we will automatically compute the economic impact payment, and we will include that as a part of the money coming with the 1040X.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Fernando? We have another question here. Okay. Fernando?
Thank you. Good afternoon, Ken. My name is Fernando Betancourt. I'm the Executive Director of the San Juan Center, Inc., operating from Hartford. And many of the services that you have touched upon, we provide to our clientele, predominantly elderly and low-income individuals, including some others like rental assistance, FEMA assistance with burial people who died from COVID, and many others. The question I have is, what instruments, what tools can we avail ourselves of that you can offer in Spanish so our work can be more effective?
Oh, absolutely. So I'm so excited that you asked me about that. So let me talk about some of the things that are happening with the IRS. I'm just like crazy about this stuff, right? So number one, the brand new schedule, LEP, is available on all of our 1040 series family. You're probably saying, Ken, what the heck is a schedule LEP? Like, why is that exciting? Let me tell you why that's exciting. So our new schedule LEP allows a taxpayer, when they file a return, to select the language that they prefer to communicate in, the language they are most comfortable in. And when you tell us on that schedule LEP as a taxpayer, you prefer your notices, you prefer any contacts with us to be in Spanish, we automatically provide that for you. And if you call our toll-free services, we now offer 350 languages, 350 languages, not only in our toll-free product lines, but also we have interpreters on call, ready to go in our walk-in facilities. We have a wonderful multilingual initiative happening where we are giving notices, communication products, and I think for the first time, we actually produced the 1040 in Spanish. And I say that proudly, but honestly, that's something we should have done a long time ago, to be candid with you. So we have a number of products. I would love to partner with you to not only help us get it right with our multilingual initiative, but also to share with you all the exciting things that we're doing around limited English proficiency, not only in Spanish, but in a lot of other languages.
Thank you. Looking forward to partner. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Fernando. We have another question here, Ken.
Sure.
This is an easy question.
Yes, sir.
I'm a World War II veteran, and on April 7th, I received the first payment of $1,400 on the Impact 3. However, I have filed my income tax not online, but by mail because I had to pay a small sum. I have a dependent son that is listed on my income tax return. And my question, because it's a split process, when will the subsequent payment be made? By mail, and when?
Yes, sir. So first and foremost, thank you for your service. My father was a colonel in the Army. Just last week, we had his service at Arlington, and it was the most humbling experience. And so I honor you, and I honor my dad. And I just can't tell you how much I want to thank you from my heart for your service to our country. We wouldn't be here without you and all the efforts that you've done. Number two, to answer your question. So you filed on paper. So you will receive a supplemental check. Did you file it? Can you tell me when you mailed it approximately?
In March, I filed
in
my
March
2020.
Okay, then you should receive your supplemental payment, I would estimate sometime in July. But what I'd like you to do is leave your information with the congressional staff there with you, and let me watch out for your account and just make sure that we get that check and that supplemental payment to you. And again, just thank you so much for your service.
Well, when I access Get My Payment, they indicate that a payment has already been made. And of course, that's the first payment.
Yes, sir.
So I'm just concerned that because it is a split process, that the subsequent payment would be forthcoming.
Yes, sir. That's an excellent question. The Get My Payment app will not update with the supplemental payment until after your tax return on paper has been processed. So your return is still in processing and has not posted yet. But as soon as it processes through our systems, then Get My Payment will update. One of the other helpful tools that I can tell you we have online is Irs Online account. Now, I know a lot of people say, I don't want an online account with the IRS. What would I want that for? Well, the neat thing about Irs Online account is that it will not only give you a more detailed look at where your tax return is currently processing, but it will also give you a more detailed look at all of your economic impact payments, including that supplemental payment. It'll probably update faster than Get My Payment will, but Get My Payment should update. I would estimate in about 6 weeks it should update. But your payment is coming, and leave your information. I'll make sure of that.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ken. We are coming to the end of this portion of the forum with you. We want to be respectful of your time. We have one last question that was submitted online. If you have submitted a question in the chat, we will be following up with you as long as you have registered with your contact information. Additionally, you can also call our office at 860-278-8888. That's 860-278-8888, and we will make sure to get back to you. Ken, the last question for you is the economic impact payment 3 still only apply to those married couples under $160,000? Also, will those who don't receive those payments still receive the child tax credit?
Excellent question. So yes, the economic impact payment for married filing joint phases out at $160,000 with adjusted gross income. And you have to remember that is what the law calls for. And if you're eligible for the advanced child tax credit, if you claimed it, a child tax credit on your either 2019 or 2020 return, you are eligible for the advanced. So watch out for irs.gov for more information on how you can opt out or be able to change or find out more information about those payments. And you will get a notice from the IRS. I just want to thank you all for this opportunity to be here with you today. Hopefully you'll invite me back. I'd love to come back and be able to assist in any way that we can. Remember, service is in our name and we are here to serve you.
Kim, just before you go, first and foremost, thank you. What a great job. And I hope everybody that's on Zoom and certainly people that are here in the auditorium greatly appreciate it. You know, it's not often that when you're dealing with the government that you have an individual who can articulate so clearly and succinctly and with the patience and understanding that you have demonstrated. I kiddingly said to Ken a couple of weeks ago, I thought he was the Isaac Hayes of the IRS, but as you can hear from both his voice and his demeanor and how he conducts himself, he is putting service back in the IRS. I want to thank you and Aruna both for putting this on. It's carried on a lot of local access so that we will be able to run this again and again for people to hear these basic questions. Just one final quick question for you.
Sure.
And that's for, because some people ask this all the time, well, what if I don't make enough money to file a 1040 form? And what if and I have children and dependents, who contacts me? How do I get in touch with them? How will I know I'll get my credit? What do I do?
Excellent question. Excellent question. There are a lot of taxpayers that don't make enough income that they typically don't file with the IRS. I will tell you, I will encourage everyone to go to irs.gov, go to IRS Free File, file a return. File a return. And when it asks you for your income, just put in $1 and then put in your dependents information and submit that return on to us. And we will get you the full benefits of childless EITC or earned income tax credit, or the child tax credit, or your recovery rebate credit, or your economic impact payment 3. There are so many things that are available through tax administration that you're entitled to. And we need, again, I will say with our community out here that we're talking with today, we need your help. We will send you information and material so that you could put posters up and talking points, anything you need for people who come into your organization and have this very question. File, IRS Free File, irs.gov/free file is the easiest and fastest way to get those benefits.
So like we heard from Fernando earlier, the San Juan Center could work directly in helping and assisting people. CRT here could help directly in assisting people. You said it better than me, of course, unity and community. This is what it's all about. This isn't about, and I want to be clear to people as well, there's nothing partisan about this either. Too often today, people are leery of government and they don't want to contact them. And this is a time when we have to find that warm courage of national unity to help out one another and bring them together. And I hope people appreciate today, and I'm sure they will, the clarity that you've just brought to what we have to do and the challenge in front of us to make sure we reach out to our friends, our neighbors, and our loved ones so that those that are eligible make sure that they get the benefits that their government is providing. And so I can't thank you again enough, Ken and Aruna. Thank you so much for spending the extra time with us as well. God bless you. God bless America. And for everybody else, please stay on the line. We're just going to run through a few things that we might not have gone over, and also encourage you to contact us with our continued efforts here in the district to inform people what's available to them. Again, thank you, Aruna and Ken, greatly appreciate it.
Thank you. Goodbye, everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you. So now, I just want to ask the audience if they, if you could stay with us. We have a few things to go over, but let me say during this district work period, what we're trying to do, and again, I know that there are several elected officials who are on Zoom, but I want to thank again Mayor Bransfield and Mayor Moran for being here. Two mayors that have been involved from the outset and were advocates for their communities. On May the 10th, the checks will be going out to communities, and as the mayors know, communities will be receiving, if you're 50,000 and above, you receive a direct payment. In population, you receive a direct payment from the federal government that goes to both the community and the Board of Education. There also, and again, I thank our mayors for their advocacy, will be, we don't have county government in the state of Connecticut, but there is a county government amount of money that's going out, and that will be distributed on the basis of population and need. So I just wanted to make sure that everybody is aware of that as well. Further, the American Rescue Plan provides things, and as you heard the discussion with the IRS, child tax benefits, earned income tax benefits, SNAP benefits, rental assistance, funeral assistance, and more. But in case you have to leave and you can't stay on now, please contact my office at 860-278-8888. That's 860-278-8888. So let us begin first by talking about the child tax credit under the American Rescue Plan. The American Rescue Plan provides each child in your family, for those who qualify, with the monies that we believe will assist and help you specifically. First, you should have received, aside from your $1,400 direct payment to qualified individuals. Now, what's a qualified individual? A single person earning $75,000 or less, or a married couple earning $150,000 and less. We were very proud to have argued for that. Originally, it was 50,000 and 100,000, but knowing that states differ from state to state, and states like Connecticut and Massachusetts, New York and California, and other states, Oregon and Washington State, the cost of living is different. And so we had to, and people get different income levels, but are paying a higher cost of living. So we were able to raise that to 75 and 150,000. But under the expanded child tax credit, each one of your children for an eligible family would get $3,600 per child under 6 years of age, and $3,000 for children 6 years and over. The expanded earned income tax credit also includes childless adults and seniors, an item that's not often known. So again, we want, if you're eligible, to call our office and seek this out, because you are entitled to benefits. And as you heard Ken go over, we especially want to make sure for veterans and Social Security recipients, even though both the VA and the Social Security Administration has sent information onto the IRS, it can be different in different cases. Example, for the most part, the information that SAA sends over to the IRS, your Social Security check should automatically come to you. If it has not, please notify our office so that we're able to help and assist and step in and find out why that hasn't transpired. We also want to, at this point, thank Representative Rosa DeLauro, who for more than 18 years championed, and I was proud to spearhead this along with Susan Del Bene on the Ways and Means Committee to get the child tax credit. And this is vitally important to people, and that credit alone will lift more than 50% of the nation's children who are living in poverty out of poverty. 50% of the nation's poor children are lifted out of poverty because of this act. And so, of course, we want to make sure that everyone who is eligible for this gets this. And let me be clear about this. Where does this money go? The money goes to the individuals. Where do they spend that money? They spend that money right back in the communities that they live in, because these are the necessities of life. How many times have you heard us say that COVID has turned this country upside down, wreaked havoc in people's personal lives, shut down businesses? People haven't been able to get together as families. People who were employed are unemployed. People have been out of work and seeking work. People who have gone without food. We heard an incredible story from Counselor Shirley Surgeon in Hartford, saying how when she came home and she saw her next door neighbor who had just received their stimulus check coming back and unloading her car with groceries and bringing them into the house of her next door neighbor. And her two little girls came running down. They go, "Mommy, Mommy, we have food." Think about that. Families all across this country and in this state and in this district. So when we talk about this being the largest governmental program since the New Deal, because of the direct benefit that goes to people, that's what we're talking about. Mommy, we have food. So we have an obligation, I believe, as elected officials, all elected officials. And so whether you agree or disagree with the American Rescue Plan, whether you voted for it or didn't vote for it, I proudly voted for it. But whether, it doesn't matter what political affiliation you are. What matters is that the country is in need, and we have to make sure that people who have gone through and endured this hardship for more than a year now are able to get the relief that we have provided for them. And in many cases, they won't know about that. We also have the earned income tax credit in the American Rescue Plan. This new law also expands the earned income tax credit so that it now applies to 17 million American working childless adults and seniors over age 65 who were previously not eligible. Let me repeat that. The earned income tax credit has been around, but the new law expands the tax credit so that now that 17 million American working childless adults and seniors over age 65 who were previously not eligible are now eligible. The change is long past due. Adults not raising children are the only group the federal tax code taxes into or more deeply into poverty. And that's why we believe that this was so important and want to take the extra time needed to make sure. And people say, well, I don't know, I don't think I'm eligible, etc. Please call us. Call your local official. Call your local agencies, because these are tax credits that you're entitled to. Even if you owe nothing in taxes and do not have to file a return, you can still receive the credit, but will have to file a tax return by December of 2021 to get the payment. There are nonprofits and tax assistance centers who can help you file this tax return. San Juan Center being a perfect example of that. And this is money that you're entitled to under the American Rescue Plan. We will have lists available of nonprofits and tax assistance centers with phone numbers to share with you, so you'll know who to contact. The American Rescue Plan also extends a $300 federal supplement to unemployment insurance, including for self-employed workers, until September 6th. And that covers some 10 million unemployed. This ensures that no one will run out of any unemployment benefits before September 6th. Individuals already enrolled should continue to see their benefits paid to them weekly and will receive the $300 federal supplement automatically. Remember, and this is an important point, if you are self-employed, the COVID relief laws have made you eligible for the first time for unemployment insurance during the pandemic. Let me repeat that. If you are self-employed, you are now eligible for unemployment insurance during this pandemic for the first time. Take advantage of it. Call our office. Individuals not enrolled for unemployment should visit the State Department of Labor website to apply, or call 860-566-5790. Again, people should call 860-566-5790. Also, the American Rescue Plan exempts $10,200 of unemployment benefits from federal taxation for 2020. You heard during the presentation with Ken, him explain that, but oftentimes people get confused. So remember, for individuals who have already filed taxes without calculating the tax-free benefits, the IRS will automatically adjust your taxes and send you a special return separate from your regular return if you are owed one in the coming months. Do not file an amended return. Again, we will provide you with a list of nonprofits who can provide free tax filing assistance. And for many individuals, this is going to be vitally important as well. The legislation establishes a new housing program to help pay mortgage and utilities and homeowners insurance. Let me repeat that. This legislation establishes new housing program to help pay for mortgage, utilities, and homeowners insurance. Funding will be prioritized for homeowners who have experienced the greatest hardships. The program is currently being set up by the Department of Treasury. Our offices will announce when application information becomes available, and we will do that in conjunction with other agencies as well. But you should also know that the American Rescue Plan provides rental assistance up to $10,000 and $1,500 for utility payments for eligible individuals. Visit Unite Connecticut or Unite CT website to learn more about how to apply, or call 1-203-941-6868. Again, you're a renter. You haven't been able to pay your rent. You're entitled to more than $10,000 of back rent payments and more than $1,500 of utility payments. In order to find out if you're eligible for this, call 1-203-941-6868. Individuals can also find their local housing counseling agencies for help as well, including the Community Renewal Team at 555 Windsor Street in Hartford. And the number there is 860-560-5501. We were just with the Community Renewal Team as well, talking about Access Health Connecticut payments and lowering your health insurance premiums as well during this time. Those are available to you as well. There's also an increase in the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. So individuals on SNAP will continue to see their increased benefits through September. To apply for SNAP, visit the local Connecticut field office, now open Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., or go to the State of Connecticut ct.gov website or call 1-855-626-6632, and they will help you connect and help inform you about what those benefits are. The American Rescue Plan provides substantial increase to subsidies for low-income and middle-income individuals and families to reduce their health insurance premiums on Access Health Connecticut. On Monday, we had a press conference with Access Health Connecticut. Again, helping people understand that they can qualify for this. About 50% of all Connecticut residents who are currently on Access Health Connecticut will see a significant reduction in premiums. Or as one gentleman said at the event, I am going to receive around an $1,100 reduction in my premium. And now I'm going to be able to use that money to help get my children through college. But this is a way that to step up and take the Affordable Care Act and then enhance the benefits that people receive under that, making sure that the most in need can have it. It's estimated that at minimum 34,000 households in Connecticut will be able to enroll in plans that will cost close to nothing, and representing a real savings for individuals and families each month. Access Connecticut will start a new open session this Saturday, May the 1st, so that residents can make sure they will get these benefits, and for others to join who now will be eligible for reduced premiums. Please take advantage of this opportunity. Call Access Health Connecticut at 1-855-805-4325 or go to their website to chat with the representatives. That's what they're there for. And if that doesn't work or you can't get through, you call our office at 860-278-8888. There is also 100% reimbursement of healthcare premiums for employer-provided health insurance for the unemployed for 6 months. That's right. There's 100% reimbursement for healthcare premiums for free employer-provided health insurance for the unemployed for 6 months. If you were laid off from your job and your employer offers COBRA, which is continuation of benefits for your employer-provided health insurance, there will be no charge to the employee. Your health insurance will be free. So again, if you're in that situation, take advantage of it. Ask your employer if they are offering COBRA. The law provides 100% reimbursement for funeral expenses for those who have died from COVID. Our office has received a number of calls about this. It is difficult enough to endure the loss of one, or in some cases, multiple members of your family to COVID. But there is a maximum of $35,000 per application in case of multiple deaths. To apply for COVID-19 funeral assistance, you call FEMA at 1-844-684-6333 or 1-800-462-7585. Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. No online applications will be accepted. This is a direct call. Again, funeral expenses are covered. Please take advantage of this. It also extends access to benefits for Puerto Rico and the territories. Now, this is important as well. So the provision corrects a longstanding inequality by permanently providing the same child care tax credit to Puerto Rico families, regardless of the number of children they have. Currently, only families with 3 or more children living on the island receive a credit that the formula lose generally means a much smaller tax credit. It also ensures that Puerto Rico benefits from the 1-year enhanced child tax credit under 2021. This means they are eligible to get a cash subsidy of $3,000 per child and $3,600 per child under 6 years of age. I know that we'll be working hand in glove with the San Juan Center on that as well. There's also been, as we stated earlier, more than $1.1 billion for Connecticut schools in terms of relief that will be coming directly to them. And there are specific guidelines that go with that. And we'll be reviewing those guidelines with the mayors and boards of education as well. There's more than $4.3 billion in fiscal relief to the state of Connecticut and direct relief to cities 50,000 and above. The American Rescue Plan also establishes a new grant program for restaurants, which we will be rolling out as well. Last week, the SBA released more details for the new Restaurant Revitalization Fund. No opening date was announced, but the rollout is anticipated in the upcoming weeks. Restaurants will be able to apply via the SBA in a forthcoming online application portal. You will be able to contact the SBA or our office for more details. The law expanded Paycheck Protection Program to nonprofits of all sizes and types, including all nonprofits except for 501c4 lobbying organizations. You can find the lenders in your area by visiting sba.gov, Paycheck Protection Find. The American Rescue Plan will also help Connecticut child care providers and provide subsidies for families to afford care so parents can go back to work. The new law also provides low-income energy assistance. And lastly, there is also assistance for the arts, our theaters, our galleries, and our museums. But finally, the most important thing is that if you've been listening and you hear this, and I've been talking so long now I'm getting hoarse, but that bottom line, if you have a problem, call our office. Second bottom line, if you're on this call today and you've heard this, chances are it's impacted you or someone you know. We are making an all-out effort in these district work periods to contact all the agencies, to contact individuals, and get the word out there to people who might otherwise not think that they are eligible for these benefits. What we need here, as Roosevelt said, is the warm courage of national unity. Unity starts with community, and it's our communities in the 1st Congressional District that have been coming together and working together collaboratively to make sure we're taking care of one another, or as the saying going, being our brothers and sisters, keepers during this very difficult time of this COVID pandemic. I want to again thank Goodwin University for allowing us to use this facility. A special thanks again to the Treasury Department and the IRS for their excellent presentation. And we will be continuing to work with our mayors and local officials and counselors and state legislative delegations to make sure that we're getting the word out, but also to all of our agencies, our not-for-profits, the ministerial alliances across this district, every single point of access that we can use to get the word out to people about the aid that's available